Welcome back. Thanks for watching. I had a subscriber ask me some of the things that I've learned since I retired. And now I'm recording this at the end of December 2024. By the time I post this, it'll probably be 1st of January or so. And by then, it'll be about 6 months since I retired. So it is a good time to maybe look back and think about, maybe some of the things I've learned. Now, I think I've addressed a few of these things in various videos throughout the time, but kind of maybe to do it all in one. One thing I've learned, I didn't realize, and I've learned that you're going to be a lot busier in retirement than you think you will. I don't think you're going to have a lot of time to just sit around and do nothing. I think you're going to find things to do to keep yourself busy and occupied, and give you a sense of purpose. And I don't necessarily think you need to retire to something like a lot of people say. I think you just need to retire and figure out your life. You're free to do what you want to do. And so I don't think you really necessarily have to have a big plan, this big to-do list to do once you retire. I think you just live life and you realize that your time goes. And, if anything, you can volunteer and do that type of stuff. But I really didn't think I'd be this busy. On the money side of it, one thing I've learned is money is at the top of your mind a lot. And I don't want to say that and come across that I'm worried about it. That's not the point at all. But, throughout my career, I had a steady paycheck every 2 weeks. No matter what job I had, it was every 2 weeks, And so I knew and can kind of have an idea of how much was coming in every 2 weeks. And so you always knew, you could always count on that. And then at my last job, with my career, my 26 years there, my paycheck was divvied up into several different accounts just automatically. I didn't have to think about it. I would just set it and forget it. And then I would know that X number of dollars was in this account and X was in this. And so it was just automatic. Whereas now, that's not the case. I'll get one monthly distribution at the first of the month, and then I'll have to manually go in and move the money to the different accounts at my local bank that I want. Which again is not a worry. It's just a task that'll need to be done. And so I didn't really think that would be that busy, thinking about money the way I am. It is kind of funny that, I say that. I think a lot of this, I created on myself, trying to, as I prepared for retirement and the more I studied and learned, I kind of became a money geek in some way, and an investing kind of geek. So, some of this stuff is a hobby for me to kind of just piddle and mess with it and try to make a plan. But I didn't really think that I was always used to everything being on cruise control, and I don't think that's what it's going to be in retirement, because as I get my monthly withdrawal from my 401k into my brokerage, I have to, then I have to manually set up a payment to my local bank each month. And then if I want to divvy that up into a couple different accounts, which I'm going to, I need to manually go in and do that. And so I'm setting up a calendar to remind me, hey, on the 13th of every month, go in and move X amount of dollars into these different accounts. And so, I've learned that it's not automatic the way maybe it was getting a paycheck. And dialing in on the budget. I didn't think that I would spend as much time, really drawing down on the budget to see just what not only the monthly expenses, but then the extra stuff, the groceries and the gasoline and just the fun spending type stuff, and trying to really figure out what that really needs to be to be safe. You don't want to spend way more than what you can, but you also don't want to live, on pennies just because you don't want to spend the money. And so learning how much extra you have each month to spend is something that I didn't really think about. And I've realized, is probably one of the most difficult tasks to do. I'm still watching these different video YouTube channels that I watched prior to retiring. I watch Joe Kuhn all the time, and Buzz and Steve. I watch those guys a lot and see what they're doing and what they're up to. And Julie at Happy on Monday. I watch her just to see, because she's really good. Her and Buzz both are good showing their budgets, and what they're spending, and it helps me to work on my budget by seeing them. And so, these things and these tools that I used before I retired, I'm still using them today because they're, I haven't got this figured out. And so me watching these folks, these regular people in retirement just continue to do their thing helps me to kind of get my thoughts settle down and, kind of get me dialed in on what I need to do. I don't, one thing I'm looking at my list here. I don't dread retiring. I kind of thought there might be this feeling of, oh man, what did I do? This feeling of regret or woe that I've retired. I've given up this good paying job. Um, but that's not the case. I don't have any regret whatsoever. In the back of your mind, you occasionally get this thought that, do you have enough, and is it going to last, and whatnot. But as far as having dread or woe about retiring, I don't have any at all. And so, but I thought I would have. I really did think that, maybe a month into this, I would look back and think, oh man, I really screwed up. But so far, 6 months in, I haven't. And that's not to say that feeling won't creep in eventually. Another thing that I didn't think that let me say it this way. Another thing that I've learned is not to look at the markets every day. And I don't. Now, it's funny, I say this. Stick with me. I don't look at the markets. I may look every couple of days to see whether they're up or down. But I just basically every day, one of my morning routines is to go in and make sure my money is still sitting there. And I really don't pay any attention whether it's up or down. And that might sound weird to say that, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking, well, that money is sitting in an account somewhere. Has it been hacked? Has it been stolen? Has it been compromised in any way? So every morning, just the security blanket of going and looking, yes, that money is still there. It is nice. And I didn't think I'd be doing that in retirement. But I spent my entire career accumulating. And now that I've parked this money and it's sitting there, I want to make sure that it's still there, kind of like, your job. You don't necessarily always worry about losing your job, but it's just comforting to know that when you go there, that your card still works to get you in the gate, type of thing. Because that has happened to a few guys where they went to work and their card didn't work. But that being said, I didn't think I would be spending that much time thinking about that. But I think I've created my own monster as far as that goes. And I don't know that this is, the experience that everyone has. But I don't regret retiring. I don't regret. Really, I haven't had any regrets about anything. I guess looking back, the one thing I wish I would have done, maybe a year out from retiring, would have been working on trying to get the house paid down a little more. But again, I'll say it this way, and I've said it in other videos. My intention was, when I went to talk to my advisor in March, my intention was to perhaps work 3 or 4 more years with my goal of getting my house paid down. And as it turned out, I retired in just a few months after that. So I really didn't have time. But anyway, I hope that helps. Some of the things I've learned, it may not be the best list, but it's just stuff that off the top of my head and kind of jotting on this sheet of paper, some of the things that's come to mind of what I've learned. I don't really have any regrets. I don't have any worries. Again, the things I do piddle with and worry about are just of my own making. And I don't think that they're really something that is of concern. Maybe that's not the right way to say it, but it doesn't bog me down. It's not, my mind is not wrapped up in the money and all that. It's just something that you think about because you thought about your job. And so why would you not think about your money? So anyway, with that, I'll close. I do want to remind you, I have a phone number if you want to call me, or well, you can call, but if you text me, it's 618-608-0152. Just leave your name and your location when you text, and we can chat there. But with that, I'll say God bless. I say thank you for watching. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.